studio. So I hope that everyone's doing well, and I can see that somebody is here. Let's see. I think that might be Bill. My husband Bill. So I'm gonna try and see. This is my first time. So first of all, welcome to my studio. This is my first time doing a live stream, so I'm gonna see if I can set this up so I can also look at chat. So in case anybody types something to me, I can read it. So let me see here if I can get over to, maybe I can watch my own thing. Let me see if that's possible. Okay, I'm gonna try to go to live now. Let me click on that. Oh, okay, I see. I can see my feed here. All right, so it says, press the Alt key to pause the chat, then point to a message to delete it, block the user. Got it. Okay, very good.
I can see and hear you, but I can't join the chat because it's saying I have to create a channel in order to join the chat.
Ah, okay.
So I will.
Okay.
See what
So,
I can do.
all right. So.
All right.
Oh my gosh! Hey, there's Frozen. Okay.
I'll work on it.
All right, Frozen. Hi, Frozen. How are you? Good to see you. I'm going to give you a little wave. I'm going to give you a Frozen palette knife wave. Oh, good. I'm glad to hear it. And did you have a good Christmas? Frozen, I know you said you got a flute. So I am going to be really excited to, I'm going to mix up a little paint here. I'm going to be very excited to see how this goes with your flute. You have 363 subscribers. Okay, awesome, awesome, so good. Very good, Frozen. That is fantastic. Well, you know what? I have been watching people live stream, and it's been a thing where I'm thinking, okay, I'd like to give it a try too. So this is my first time live streaming, and you're almost to your goal. Oh my gosh, that is so good. That is so awesome. Okay, so what I've got here is I've got my oil paint. Let me just show you what I've got here. So I am using the water mixable art. And Frozen, do you use oil, or do you, so hey, One Voice Art, hello, hello. And Frozen is on here too. We were just talking about this. I'm using the water mixable paint, and let me show you a little bit here what I've also got. This is I love this Van Gogh oil. This is also a water mixable. So this is a, let's see, what are we calling this here? This is the turquoise, but I have this brand, and then I also use Cobra, which is, they have a great, so Frozen, you say you use acrylics and watercolor and oil. And oh, Bill Tollefson, hey, that's my husband. Hi, darling. Okay, so this Cobra oil, I love the Cobra oil. I'm going to take it out of the box and show you. This is Royal Talons, if you guys have ever used that. All right, here, let's see. Okay, so the Cobra, this is kind of what I like about the Cobra. It's got a little bit more oil into it, but it really does some beautiful colors. So let's go ahead and just get a little bit onto the palette. And I have I'm doing this all with one hand, but I have a thing ordered. What do you call it? A tripod. So let me just squeeze a little bit of this on here. Okay, and you know what it's telling me? It's telling me that my battery mode. So thank you, One Voice Art. I appreciate you. So just squeezing a little bit of this onto the palette. This consistency is, hey, hi, Angie. Good to see you. This consistency is just so wonderful on the Cobra paint. So what I wanted to do today is just do a little bit of color mixing and just talk a little bit about some of the consistency. Now I've got this, right now this is a little bit of the Winsor & Newton Artisan, and this particular color is Cad Orange, and then this Winsor & Newton French Ultramarine Blue, which is so pretty, just love it. All right, and this oil, a lot of times people ask, hey, why are you painting in oil versus acrylic, or why don't you paint in acrylic?
That's interesting. My video is not updating, it's just spinning, but it looks like you're able to see it.
Okay. So, all right. So my husband has just stopped by the studio and said that his video is spinning, but it's on my monitor over here. It's looking fine. So, anyway, it looks like we're good. So anyway, I'm just going to pick up a little bit of this yellow. And the one thing I noticed about the Cobra oil is it's a stronger tinter than other brands, meaning that it's got a lot of pigment in it. So, okay, so Dena, I've never painted with acrylics, only once before, and haven't touched them since. You know, I kind of feel like that too. The reason I use acrylic is because of how fast it is. But my gosh, you cannot beat, and wouldn't you agree, you cannot beat the wonderful consistency that you can get. There's like a sensualness of I'm just going to get right up on there with the camera. There's this wonderful tactile quality about oil paint that is not, you just can't get it with acrylics. I mean, you can if you put certain modifiers in and that kind of thing. I'm just wiping here on my beloved Bounty paper towels. I like these white towels. And then also just a moment to just say what I've got here on my tabletop is, okay, Bill. So my husband, now he's caught back up again on the chat. So again, this is, for those of you that have just joined, this is my first time doing a live chat, and I'm super excited that everybody's here, and I am grateful for your support. And be sure to give me a like there. I've got 2 likes. And I love if you all would give me a little like, and I do appreciate your support. So we've got 5 watching, which is awesome. And again, for my first thing, and I do apologize, I'm holding with my iPhone, I'm holding the camera, and I do have on order a little tripod. So next time I do this, I'm going to be able to do a painting and then be able to use both my hands here. So, all right, so made up a lovely little peach here with some of the Winsor & Newton, the Cad Orange, and then titanium white, and then we've got French Ultramarine Blue. I haven't used that yet. And then this wonderful, from Cobra, the wonderful, this yellow, which I just love, the permanent yellow light. The color is really intense on this Cobra oil. It's got, you see it's got a little bit of extra linseed oil around with it. And what I usually do is if it's like way too much, I'll put it with a paper towel and then, try and just take a little of the excess oil off. And there's a term. Do any of you guys remember what that term is when you take the extra oil off? If you do, put it in the chat. I know there's some technical term for, essentially, I don't know if they call it, it's not oiling off. There's some term for taking off extra oil off your de-oiling. Yeah. Okay. Well, Bill, it might be de-oiling. If that's not the actual term, then and we've got 6 likes. Thank you so much, everyone. If it's not de-oiling, then golly, I don't know what we would. Yeah. Thank you, darling. I don't know what we would call it. But if one of you can think of it, then, type it in, and so we can all know. All right, so taking a little bit of the titanium white, and now French Ultramarine Blue, for those of you that like French Ultramarine Blue, it's not a super strong blue, the way like phthalo blue red shade is. It's really more of a, I don't know, what would you say, kind of a softer blue. But it's kind of transparent, or pretty transparent. Let's see, I'm going to look on the label here. I wonder if they talk about the transparency. Let's get a good light here. Ooh, it's kind of swirling all over here. So the, I don't know. Does anybody know? I know like on watercolors they talk about like how transparent or how non-transparent something is. But on oil paint, I guess I've not used to ever seeing how opaque or how transparent something is. So like, for example, I'm going to grab over here. Here's my stash of acrylics. See, like on acrylics, You can see, see those black bars that you see over here, and then they have paint over the top. You can tell how opaque or how transparent something is by how much the color will show through over these other colors. So let me grab another one here from my stash. Okay, let's see, what do we have here? Cobalt blue. All right, so you see the cobalt blue. When you look at that and compare that to the diarrhyolite yellow, you can see that you can barely see the black bars through the cobalt blue versus the diarrhyolite yellow is a lot more transparent in acrylic. Let me get the pyrrole orange. See, that one's a little bit darker, and it's how it's covering, how much it covers. And then let's grab the green gold. Look how transparent that green gold is in the golden acrylic. It's like super transparent, so when you mix it, you're gonna get this situation where, oh, Caitlin Marie. Hi, Caitlin Marie. Ooh, please do more live videos in the future. Okay, I will. And I'm so excited to have you guys all here and part of the art community. I'm really just absolutely thrilled. And Caitlin, thank you for saying that. So the green gold, I'm gonna grab another one here, my art stash. And then I also want to show you my tool that I use. Okay, aha. Okay, so Hansa yellow. Look at how it's like almost see-through, this Hansa yellow light, which means that if you take, now let me get I know that my Mars black is gonna be like super dark. So let's grab Mars black. Oh, that's teal. Oh, teal is not that see-through or not that transparent. Okay, Mars black is over here. Here we go. Okay. Okay, Mars black. Let's get in the light. Can you see that the black marks on the Mars black, and compare that with, like, for example, the Hansa yellow light. So what this tells us as artists is that, hey, Caitlin Marie. So what that tells us is that oh, you're saying hi to Frozen, yes. And so Caitlin, or Angie says, I haven't used oils in years. I love the amount of work time that they give you. And you know what? That is exactly it, Angie. I love that too. This, a person can just leave their paint sitting in one position for like a clump of paint like this. You could leave it 24 hours and come back to it, especially if it's got a titanium white or something like that. And my goodness, you get this thing, and it's just as workable and just as nice and as lush to work with as it was when you squeezed it out of the tube. So, and again, thank you everyone for coming out here. Now, you guys also might notice that I have this this palette. You might think, why is this palette gray? Because here's the white paper towel, but this is a wave palette. And so you hold on to it with, in earlier videos you may have seen me holding this thing. It's disposable, and there are 50 sheets in each one, and they have kind of a waxy type of a coating on them. And what's super nice about it is I don't like a lot of mess, and so what I like is when I'm done, I can just literally scrape all my color together and make a neutral out of it, and I don't have to waste any paint. But what's really nice is there's like literally no cleanup. You just wipe off your knives and you throw the paper away and you're done. But anyway, back to these colors. So I'm gonna put these acrylics back over here. I wanted to show you, I got my pile of acrylics. Usually I have them kind of lined up, like I go like white, yellow, greens, yellow ochre, oranges, red, that type of thing. And so, oh, Caitlin is saying, I've never seen the label where it shows the transparency of the acrylic paints here in Australia. Ah, okay. Yeah, so I mean, isn't that kind of neat how they show that? At least on the golden artist colors, they show that. And I love that because it really is helpful. So like here's the yellow ochre, and if not, you have to almost do swatch tests on your own, Here's my titanium white, and so we can see, barely see that there are black bars underneath here. And based on that, we know that that's a strong tinter in the acrylics. And I've got like this, I'll call this my torture chamber thing for the the oil paints or the acrylics, you see these little kind of, you know those potato chips that have got the ridges? They're like a ruffle potato chip or Ruffles. Now I'm gonna get hungry. Everything always comes back to food. But does anybody else write a comment if you agree that this is a little bit like those ruffly potato chips, this mark that's left on here? What this is you know this, this thing when you've got your paint and you're squeezing and you're squeezing and you're squeezing. Yeah, you agree, Caitlin. When you squeeze your paint out and you get to the end, and I've actually used this also on face cream. Bill agrees it is. I've used this on face cream. I've used this little torture chamber thing here. I've used this on face cream, and I've also used it. I have a thing for rosacea that I use it on. Squeeze the tube out because the medicine's super expensive. And then I've also used it on a toothpaste tube. But what this thing is you put it in here, and I can't really do it with just the one-handed. I do feel sorry for people who are one-handed because it's a disadvantage. But basically, you stick it in here, and then you squeeze it down like so. Okay, and then you turn the crank. And I'm not going to squeeze hard because I don't have that hand strength to squeeze and turn. But basically, you do this, and it flattens. And then it goes just on the end like that, and you can go zip, 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 all the way to the end of the, oh, and I see that we have 10 people on now. And hey, give a thumbs up if you can, if you get a chance, if you haven't already, give us a like. But the, what's nice about this is, look at this, my goodness. You know, when you squeeze this thing out all by yourself, it about, you know, it hurts your hand to squeeze all the paint out. This is a large tube, by the way. I use these 200 ml tubes because my technique uses a tremendous amount of paint. But when and there's actually kind of a funny story with that. So Blick Art Materials started sending me the instructor catalog because I think they must have thought there's no possible way that someone could be using this volume of paint all on their own. So anyway, I've been getting the instructor's catalog, but I do like to get my paint in these larger containers. And when I'm working in acrylic, I like to use these 5 ml things. I might have to try out painting one of these days. Yeah, you know, One Voice, absolutely, absolutely. And you know what? If you just stick with a couple colors, it is so easy to do, and just, you know, do like a very thin amount of paint on your canvas at first, and then when you know, feel more and more comfortable with it, then, you know, or start with the knife. The knife is really kind of like holding a pencil in a way. But anyway, back to this tube ringer. This thing is called a tube ringer. And I tell you, I have 2 of those. I gave one to my mother because she loved it so much. And I have this one that I use. And this thing, it is amazing because like when you turn the crank, this is metal, and it really works with any size. So let me grab a little guy here. This is just a little tube. What's his size? Okay, 2 ounces. So you just stick it in here. So like, let's say I was going to do this little 2 ounce guy. Let's just pop him in here now, just because we're talking about it. Okay, so you pop it in here like so. So this one, as you can see, I have not squeezed anything. I've just been doing hand squeeze on this, and we haven't done the potato chip effect. So I'm just going to open him up. There you go, guy. Go on in there. Okay, so then you squeeze down with your hand, and it's kind of torturing the thing, and it goes like that. That was my sorry, paint. That was okay. My paint is not sentient. That is just me making a little paint sound. Okay, and that was actually kind of for my husband's on the stream. My husband Bill, and that little sound effect was for him. Ooh. Okay. So you would do this, and then you just go ahead, and again, normally I would do this with 2 hands, but since I'm holding one with the phone, but you put this in here, and then you squeeze, and then you go, and then it's going to curl and it's going to make this potato chippy thing. But do you see that you can really take tiny tubes and you can do it with big monster tubes, like what, or you can just see the one mark. And then you just get it, and what ends up happening is you really get a wonderful use of all of the tubes. Oh, and I see that Caitlin is asking, could you possibly do a video where you recommend your favorite brushes, tools, and brand of canvas, just so us beginners have a good idea of what's the best? And then I get a thumbs up from Bill Tollefson. Absolutely, Caitlin, that's a fantastic idea. And I do have, I have a Amazon, and I'm going to write it down with a pen. So I have actually a list of my favorite. I'm going to use a Sharpie here and just write it on my palette. So if you go to www.amazon.com/shop/ oh, now I'm going to have to, I'm running out, so I'm going to curve it. DENA_TOLLEFSON. Okay, so, and I'm going to write it again here so it's more legible. Okay, so it's where there's more room. /Dena_Tollefson. Okay, so what this is I'm based on my Instagram account. I've got quite a few Instagram followers, and so Amazon has made me what they call an Amazon influencer, and so I have a shop actually, Caitlin. So if you're wondering, I have a shop on Amazon.com/shop/Dena_Tollefson, and you have to type the whole thing in, because if you just put if you just go to Amazon and then do a search, then it does not it just do a search under my name. It doesn't work that way. You have to go all the way in like that, and what you'll see there is my store. And in fact, you know what? I'm sitting right next to my computer. Let me hold my phone next to the computer, and I'll show you how to get there. So let's see here. All right, so if we go, and if you guys can see that. All right, so we're gonna go Amazon.com. Oops, I've got caps lock on. Huh. Okay, let's try it again. Okay, try again. Amazon.com, and then com/shop/ Dena, and then underscore. Let me find the underscore here. Where are you, underscore? Oh, up here. No, here. Oh, that's a dash. Shift up. Okay, there we go. Dena Tollefson. Okay, so let's do that. And then what it should do is yeah, there we go. Okay, Dena Tollefson's favorite art supplies. So what you see here, and again, I am a Amazon affiliate, so what that means is when you go here and if you click on it, then I do get a small fee from Amazon, but it's no additional cost to you. So they call it like an advertising kind of thing. So anyway, let's say that you were wondering about, like, say, brushes. You can click on to brushes, and then I have all kinds of recommendations for brushes. So for example, this is like the Pretty brush that I use, a giant paintbrush, when I'm doing toning the canvas. These are the paintbrushes I've got, like here. These are these wonderful flat paintbrushes that I'm using, that kind of thing. And then I've got recommendations for all kinds of stuff. Let's see, where did we go? Oh, now we lost it. But basically, let me go back over here to the chat. And there we go. So here's the chat. Let me go back over here to the palette. But that's what you can, for a specific thing. But absolutely, I'll do another video on recommendations for paints, for brushes, for canvas. You bet. That's a great input, Caitlin. All right, so let's do a little bit more paint mixing. I want to talk a little bit about the idea of what is a gray. So everybody thinks about, when you think about a color wheel, you think about blue and orange and red and yellow, and you think about those colors. But did you know that if you take two colors that are across the color wheel from each other, so like blue and orange are across the color wheel from each other, and so if you mix them together and like purple and yellow are across the color wheel, you actually get technically what's called a gray. So let me pick up a little bit of this orange and let's mix a gray. Wipe this off here, and let's grab some of this oil paint here, this ultramarine blue. And I see somebody else just joined us, and thank you for joining. And I appreciate you supporting my channel, and I appreciate the likes and appreciate you watching. And I think we have a wonderful community here. And want to also encourage all of you too on the chat, if you are also friends with the other people that are here on this channel, give them some support too, and be sure to subscribe to their channels. So look at this wonderful inky dark color that we can make when we combine the pyro orange, or actually this is cad orange since this is oil, cad orange and the French ultramarine. And we did that. Look at this kind of wonderful brown color. I typically, in my paintings, don't use brown. A brown from a tube. I usually mix my own. And you can get this kind of, doesn't this look like a wonderful like fondue chocolate? Just absolutely beautiful. So I want you to write me a comment. Tell me what your favorite colors are to use. I would love to hear, and then I'll tell. We'll see if we have a consensus, if everybody has their favorites. What I want to do now is I want to show you why we call this a gray. So really a gray, a lot of people think a gray is always just, let's see. Oh, okay. Caitlin Marie, I sent you a direct message on Instagram, was wondering if you could give me a few tips on painting. I painted it in honor of my mom who survived breast cancer. Oh, Caitlin, that is so nice. I will respond to you. Thank you, thank you. This makes kind of a brown color, kind of like a brown mauve kind of a color. And then if we want to go in, and if we more of the orange, let me grab a little bit more. Just add a little bit more of this orange. Look at how this warms this up. So when you hear about something's being warm or being cool, so Caitlin Marie, I love painting with Earthlyn. This is the absolute right thing for you, is to try in the earthy colors. You can achieve earthy colors by taking like these primary colors, I don't know, kind of a peachy orangey color. And what if I add a little bit more yellow to it, or not more yellow, add yellow to it. And I really like some of these earthy colors. They're just an unnamed. We have 7 likes and we have 7 followers. That's like 7 visiting her. Bye bye.